Hello my friends, it's Tammy. I hope you're doing well today. I had hoped to take you along on the entire process of this project, but I did not hit record when I was putting my first layer down here on my palette tray. So this is only my first layer down on the tray, so I'll carry you along for the rest of the ride. What I'm going to do here is I have these temporary tattoos. You can purchase them from Amazon. You can get several different varieties. And so I'm going to embellish my tray with these temporary tattoos that apply almost very similarly to a water slide. And so on my base layer, I had just the center is a pink mica. And then an iridescent pink glitter from Dryer Days Art Studio around that, as well as the Color Joy through Dryer Days Art Studio blue pearl or pearl blue mica, and then I just added some pink fine glitter from Hobby Lobby on the outside edge of the tray. So once that cured, I'm starting off now by cutting my tattoos and peeling back the protective layer from it. Now this leaves a fairly sticky surface, and so when you lay this down on your surface, you need to make sure that you have it where you want it, because you're not going to be able to pull it back up again without potentially messing up your tattoo and potentially your surface. So this will go on almost as a mirrored image because you're putting it on upside down. And so I'm just trying to find the fit of where I exactly want this before I actually stick it down to my surface. And then I just rub that on, and then I'm going to just take a very wet paper towel and just tap along there and release. What it does is it loosens up the adhesive of the tattoo. And so I'm just making sure that it permeates through the paper backing. And I'm going to lay my wet paper towel on the surface of it just to make sure while I cut my other piece. And I'm not doing a fussy cut here. I'm just getting in closer so that I don't have as much margin around my flowers. Makes it a lot easier to place on my tray. And again, just trying to decide the best way to place this. Now my initial piece, it's ready, and so I'm just sliding that back and off of the tattoo and lifting it up. It's super simple. And so again, I'm going to take that protective coating off and lay my tattoo down. And these tattoos, you get right many of them. In most packages, you get several of them. And they're relatively inexpensive. I think probably paid about $7 or $8 for a pack of 20 different tattoos. And look how good that looks. I could have stopped right here and it would have been perfect. Now, I purchased a separate set, and this one had birds, and so I have this little hummingbird here that I thought the colors went very well with the florals that I had already laid down. So I'm just again trying to determine where I'm going to lay this, and then again we'll cut this out. And you don't have to do this step. This is just one that I felt I wanted to do so that there wouldn't be so much of the surface of that tattoo down on my tray. You just really have to keep in mind that your tattoo is going to sit opposite of the way it looks on the paper once you turn it upside down and transfer it on. And I just love how this hummingbird sits right there at the thumb hole of my palette tray. That was a perfect fit. And I would have never been able to get up that close to that had I not trimmed the paper around it. And I also had a collection of butterflies in with my bird package. And so I chose something with a brighter color, contrasting color, to go alongside my flowers above. This was not my original idea. Actually, I learned of this from Tish McBriar from Naptime Creations and thought that I would give it a try as well. And so this is the first time I'm doing this, and you can see how simple it is. But I will plan on using this in other applications as well. But think about how many ways you could actually use these tattoos. I mean, if you make tumblers, or I have used it once actually on a vase, a turned resin vase. Here on this tray, there's just a lot of different applications for these beautiful tattoos. All right, here we are. I'm ready to pour on my next layer of resin. And I want an overall very fine layer of clear with just some light sprinkles of white glitter and the original rose pink colored glitter that I got from Hobby Lobby. And there's very little of that in my clear mixture. And I also wanted to use some more of this iridescent pink glitter from Color Joy / Dryer Days Art Studio. It is just gorgeous. You can see that ring around the pink mica that has an opalized look to it. That is specifically that glitter, and it just gives it a lot of depth. Quite beautiful, and you'll see when I lay it down how much it lights this piece up. I am adjusting my gloves. These vinyl gloves just don't do much for me. They're too big. They won't stay on. I'm having a hard time finding my nitrile gloves that aren't costing an arm and a leg, so I'll just stick with these until I can find some. And there's that iridescent pink. Hard to tell under my studio lights, but you'll see once I lay it down what I'm talking about. I was so frustrated with myself when I realized that the camera never turned on. I use my camera on my phone to videotape my YouTube videos, and so it's usually facing down on the system that I have set up. And when I thought I pushed the record button, evidently I did not. And I went through the whole process of laying my first layer down. But it's okay. You've seen me do that before. And the important part is that you're seeing how these tattoos can really embellish a piece of your art. So here I'm just laying down that clear resin with the white and pink fine glitter. Now I wanted to say too that my floral embellishments have a little bit of a transparency to them where I can see the glitter from up under them from my initial pour. I'm just going to add some clear around that. Now I did not fill this mold completely to the top. It has a little bit of an edge or a lip to this, but I used a total of what I did use is a total of 8 ounces. It probably could have taken 10 to 12 ounces for this mold. Now I'm just making sure that I've got good coverage from the 4 ounces of resin that I have poured in. And I'll add that you really do not see any of the edges of the tattoos under the resin. You don't see any of it. Some water slides, you will see the edges of the surface that the decal is on. But this here you do not. Okay, so now I'm going to take my iridescent pink and just pour that around the edges of my tray. I just think this glitter is fantastic. It's extremely fine glitter, and so when you open the jar, it all just kind of comes puffing out at you. So be careful when you're opening and handling it. It's very, very fine. Fine as in lightweight, but it's not. It's got varying sizes to the glitter itself. Look at that glow, though, around that edge. Isn't that gorgeous? I think it just adds so much. And I'm just going to spray this with some isopropyl alcohol to make sure any of the bubbles is popped. I did not want to apply heat because I did not want my resin to thin and have all of that beautiful glitter floating all over my piece. So it's time to unmold the next morning. You can see that little bit of a lip around the edge where I didn't pour it all the way to the top. And I may add a gold or silver border along the edge. There it is. I'm very pleased with it. If you like this video and found value in it, I would so appreciate you hitting that like button. And I would love for you to subscribe. You can also follow me on my other social media platforms at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest, as well as here on YouTube. If you do one of these pieces, I would love for you to tag me at Art by Tammy Lassiter, and I'd love to see what you do. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for blessing me by being here. This is probably going to go out to one of my artist friends so that I can bless their day. But I hope you have enjoyed watching.